Hi everyone. I haven't posted video on a regular basis since the start of this year, and that's because I don't have any idea what to do on this channel other than bring you a bit of what I've experienced in my path of spirituality. I give myself 100 marks for sticking to a regular schedule last year, but for this year I'm really not sure what to do. However, Joanne from Sacred Space Japan did a very good video on talking about how it's important to talk and share a bit more on platforms so that a bit more light can get out into the world. I will link her video. That video really encouraged me a lot. Even though I do not have anything of use to contribute to this space, can perhaps give a bit of an update on what I'm doing with my life since 2021 started. It's kind of like a quarterly update. For a start, you can see what's here. It's the Fashion Maker Space, a workbook, and it is what I'm doing for the moment right now. I signed up for a dressmaking course at the start of the year, and boy, it is so difficult. I mean, I think I overestimated myself. I thought that since it is quite a long course, it means that there's a lot of time to learn things, but actually there isn't, and I have zero knowledge on making clothes. So every lesson so far has been a struggle. When the teacher talks about all these dimensions, I get lost and I try to keep up, but every time I manage to finish absorbing one point, she has already gone to the other. So it's quite a fast-paced class. And you can see these are all the dimensions make. Through this course, actually, I finally have a good sense of how difficult it is to make a garment, and whatever that we have paying on the market these days, for example the fast fashion branches, if they can set these kind of prices that they do, it means that there is something about the practices that is not helping the people who are really making the dresses at the back. At the very least, makes me understand how difficult it is to make a clothing, and how much respect we must give it, just like how we do for the food producers, the farmers, and all these people. And the other thing is how body shapes really do make a difference in how the garment will look like. So for example, when I was measuring out this for my own body size, I'm really actually an inverted triangle. So it means that my shoulder is very broad and I have almost a boy shaped body below. So my friend, who is a bit more, she considers herself a pear shape. So when we compare our drafting side by side, there is a difference. So for example, my shoulder will jut up a lot more than hers, and my waist will be more straight than hers. This really links back to, since this is a tarot related channel, or a spirituality related channel, it really brings the point across that even like within each practice, even though we are wearing the same clothes, we are doing the same thing, there's a bit more differences in how we approach or how we do things. So there isn't really a right or wrong, and I do have these doubts occurring to me, even though I have been doing spirituality for a few years or maybe decades, I don't know. But even so, I still have a lot of doubts regarding this, and I need people in the community to remind me that this it is like clothing, different shapes and size, and each one doesn't mean that it's wrong. Let me show you what is my progress on this so far. So all this ugly thing, this tracing paper is part of my dimension, and this is the cloth that I'm expected to seal the clothes with, and then this is the lining. So as of this video, I'm just waiting for the teacher to teach me how to sew the dress together so that I can get this course over with. It is really very frustrating for me every week. I even have to pay for some things myself, such as this tailor scissors. I don't have a tailor scissors, and I am expecting myself to pay more money on the front of a sewing machine because I do not have one as well. Alright, on the learning front, I guess this is the only challenge I need for this year, because it is like a level 1000 to me. I bought a lot of stuff during sales to kind of enrich my life. So one of this is the stand that you are seeing now. I switched to a phone last year, which is much bigger than what my original tripod could manage, and so I managed to get one that's able to grip my new phone right now. I also bought a new lamp that is a warmer light and give a rainbow color here. I will show you a snippet of how it looks like. So I'm trying to cultivate a habit where I use less of social media before I sleep, and perhaps things that emit blue light before I sleep, because I'm an insomniac, and you know, I'm trying to sleep well this year. Sleep is very important to me. I also bought this tablet because as I'm still working from home, I need to do more Zoom meeting, and this phone that I'm filming on, well, it is big enough of a screen, but I don't have a webcam, and I feel that webcam is a very limited use, and so I decided to get a tablet with a bigger screen that is able to support a function of having a big enough screen for me to look at slides. And also, if all else failed, if at the end I don't need to use Zoom anymore, at least I can use my this for my Kindle, because my original Kindle is about 5 years, and recently I have begun to realize that it shows a bit more, it is not working very well. Another thing that I have been doing recently is also that I joined this sustainability, and I volunteered to be the writer for at least until July this year. So what that means is that I try to write articles, get the owner to approve of it, and then it will be published on the site. I'm not really a good writer, and so far I have just finished one article. It has been a difficult process so far, since I don't have an idea, like, you can see my style on this channel is that I don't have a very useful, that's instructional video or anything that has a goal in it, and I just do what I like. So I have always been used to the style of writing just as I like. But that's not the case for this blog, because the original idea for this blog is to inspire people to take up more sustainability related actions. So there must be actions done at the end of each article. What I am finding difficulty with, and also perhaps to write in a way that people will understand, because I always assume that if you don't understand anything, you can just Google it and it will bring you to more informative sites that explain it better than I do. But that's not the case. I really have to explain everything. So taking up this writing opportunity was just also another challenge for myself. As compared to level 1000 just now, this is nothing. The next thing I would probably like to share about is also some of the things that I have been reading. You see that just now I have been talking a bit more on sustainability writing, and what I have been doing is to reread some of the books I have read to get ideas for the blog, the books that I've been talking about for now. This is The Way the World Ends, Vegan Ethic, and 7 Modern Plagues. These are books that are advanced reading copy. So these 3 books, they are related to the environment in a way. That's why I've been reading it. And what the first book is talking about is focusing very much more on topic of how climate change have been affecting the world and how people are affected. So this was the book that helped me to write my first article for the blog, which was related to climate refugees. Climate refugees weren't a topic that I have read about earlier in my years as an environmental student. So this book helped me to think a bit more on the social perspective, and also it is this book that spurred me to buy 2 electrical appliances. First is the dehumidifier, which I bought because I realized that some of the difficulties of the weather here in Singapore is due to the high humidity, and because my house doesn't have air conditioning, on some days, especially when the haze comes in during a hot and dry weather, I cannot sleep very well and I feel more uncomfortable very quickly. And that's because the high humidity and the high temperature create a sort of a difficulty where you can't sweat and dry out your sweat really well. And from this book, actually it scares me a bit, because there are talks of heat waves in this book, and it made me realize that this danger is very real in Singapore, especially when I have to shut my window during hazy periods where it is hot, dry and smoky and with very high humidity. And I also bought air purifiers because I'm afraid that haze will come soon, and the heat wave and all this make working from home a bit more difficult. So Vegan Ethic focus on how livestock is being made into meat and the problems for the animals, and also how it affects the people working along the chain as well. And then there's the 7 Modern Plagues, a gallery of magic, the Archangels of Magic, the 72 Angels of Magic. I've also been reading about the Arcturians. So these 2 books, Connecting the Arcturians and We the Arcturians. I have seen this book title before when I was young, but I wasn't privileged enough to get a Kindle and also have my own money to pay for these kind of books. So now I do, and I'm reading these 2 books. It does feel like love and light don't mix well with me. I get very bored easily reading these 2 books. If it resonates with you. then it is fine. But it's not that it doesn't resonate with me. It is just that the way it's written is very difficult for me to read on, and I always have to ask myself, is this a flight of fantasy, or is there some truth to it? However, I am trying to do some of the meditation which are mentioned in the book to connect with the Arcturians. I am hoping to see some difference in my way of thinking and experience when I sit down and maybe close my eyes and be silent for a minute. So this is just a quick update on what I've been doing, and I hope you like it. Bye.